Here's an example of homework C.2, measure conversions. Just like all the homeworks, make sure you're ready to complete it when you start it. You'll have an hour to do it. No partial credit for incorrect answers. Make sure you review your results immediately upon completion, and let me know if you have any questions. So when we do conversions like this, I like to use dimensional analysis. You don't need to memorize when to multiply or when to divide. Just let algebra tell you what to do. So we start with what we're given. In this case, it is a poster that is 97 centimeters tall. So write down 97 centimeters. And it's very, very important that you write down the unit of measure, because that is critical in dimensional analysis. We're analyzing the dimensions. Now, I do like to put this over 1 so it looks like a fraction. And the reason why I do that is because dimensional analysis has us multiplying by fractions. So I'll put my fraction bar here. And then this fraction has to be made up of this conversion here that's been given to us. This 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. Now, when you set this up, if you put the 2.54 centimeters in the top and the 1 inch in the bottom, the problem with that is these inches here won't cancel, or excuse me, the centimeters won't cancel because 1 is in the top, or they're both in the numerator. In order to cancel, you need 1 in the numerator, 1 in the denominator. So what that means is these two quantities here have to be switched. This 1 inch has to be in the top, and this 2.54 has to be in the bottom. Now we have them set up like that. Notice that the centimeters here, 1's in the bottom, 1's in the top. Okay. Then dimensional analysis says we can cancel those just as if they were numbers. Then we multiply together the numbers on the top. 97 times 1 is 97, right? So this is a 97 in the top. And we still have inches in the top as well. And what's in the bottom is just 2.54. Centimeters is not there because it has been canceled. Then we're ready to grab our calculator and do 97 divided by 2.54. So this is equal to 38.188, and these keep going. And this is inches. And we pay attention to the instructions that say round to the nearest whole inch. This 38 is in the whole number spot. The one that comes after it says round down. So this is going to go to 38 inches. Now, again, the instructions are don't include inches with your response. So when you put the number in the box here, just put the 38. Dimensional analysis. Number 2 here, similar problem. All right, I'm going to start with what was given to me, which is 24 yards wide, 24 yards. All right. And again, I like to put that over 1 so we have fractions. I'm going to multiply this by a fraction. That'll make yards cancel and leave me with meters. I utilize this conversion factor here, and to get yards to cancel, I have to have the 1.09 yards on the bottom and 1 meter in the top. When I do this, the yards cancel, which is what I want to happen. Then I'm going to multiply this 24 times the 1 and that 1 times the 1.09. So this is going to equal to what's in the top. And the top is 24 meters. And the bottom is 1.09. So now I grab my calculator. 24 divided by 1.09 is 22.0183 and some change. $22.0183. This keeps going. This is meters. And the instructions say what? Round to the nearest tenth of a meter. So the 0 is in the 10th spot. The 1 tells us to round down. So this is going to go to 22.0 meters. If I just put 22 there, Canvas will not mark it wrong. But since I'm rounding to the 10th, I like to have my answer go to the 10th place. Cassie weighs 51 kilograms. How many pounds is this? Again, I like to put 51 over 1. I'm going to multiply by a fraction. And to get kilograms to cancel, I need 1 kilogram in the bottom. And I need 2.2 pounds in the top. Kilograms are canceling. The bottom is just going to be 1 times 1. So this is going to equal 51 times 2.2. I'll be left with pounds. 51 times 2.2 on my calculator is 112.2. Follow the directions. We're going to round in there's whole pound. This first 2 is in the whole number spot. This 2 that follows us tells us to round down. So this is going to equal 112 pounds. The cup contains 15 fluid ounces. How many milliliters is this? 15.0 fluid ounces, which is FLOZ. Put this over 1. Multiply by a fraction. It's going to make fluid ounces cancel. So utilize this conversion that's given to us. So I got 1 fluid ounce in the bottom. And in the top, I have 29.6 milliliters. Dimensional analysis, analyze the dimensions. Fluid ounces are canceling. The bottom is just going to be 1 times 1. So the top is 15.0 times 29.6. And I'll be left with milliliters. So 15.0 times 29.6 is 444 milliliters. The directions are round to the nearest whole milliliter. This already is to the whole milliliter, so there's no rounding that's necessary, just 444 in the answer box. Number 5. Now, when we're converting just metric units, now both of these are metric units, right? Millimeters and centimeters. I could do it in dimensional analysis, right? But when I do this, I could just do a metric conversion of just moving the decimal point. Now, going from millimeters to centimeters is one place. So I either have to move the decimal 1 unit to the left or 1 unit to the right. And in this case here, I need more millimeters and fewer centimeters. So I want this to go to 1 decimal place to the left. So this is just going to jump to 43.8 centimeters. Now, another way to do it is we could look at dimensional analysis. If we have 438 millimeters, and I want to multiply that by something to change the millimeters to centimeters. If I multiply this by my fraction, and then I just need to know that there are 10 millimeters, or 10 millimeters in every 1 centimeter. And you can see here, dimensional analysis, if I'm canceling the millimeters, dividing by 10 is the same as moving the decimal point 1 spot to the right. So this will still get us to 43.8 centimeters. Keep in mind when you're doing this, right? When you have 2 metric units, right? If you need more of the smaller one to equal less of the bigger one. Okay, so here's another one here, metric conversion here. We have 27 kilometers is equal to so many meters. Kilometers are bigger, so we need fewer kilometers and more meters. Okay, we need 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. So in this case here, we're going to move the decimal point 3 places to, in this case, to make it bigger, to make more meters. In this case, we move the decimal point to the right 3 places. So that means 27 kilometers will equal 27,000 meters. Centigrams to milligrams. Right? Centigrams is bigger, All right. So we need more milligrams. All right. In this case here, 10 milligrams is equal to 1 centigram. So we're going to increase it, make 11 bigger by move the decimal one place. In this case, 11.2 centigrams is equal to 112 milligrams. Remember, we need more of the smaller unit and less of the bigger unit if they're going to be equal. We have oil leaking out of a barrel. And in this case here, we have the what is left is going to equal the full amount minus whatever has leaked out. So when we use dimensional analysis to find the leaked amount, we start with our flow rate of 0.4 quarts per minute. So this is quarts over 1 minute. We're going to multiply that by something here. Let me put my fraction bar here. And I have to change the quarts here to gallons. To do that, I have 4 quarts in the denominator and 1 gallon in the numerator, because that'll make our quarts cancel, right? Now, I also need to change the minutes to hours, because I have a leak amount right here in an hour, and I'm starting with minutes. So to change minutes to hours, I'm going to multiply this by a fraction. I'm just analyzing the dimensions here. And I know that there are 60 minutes in an hour. Since I have minutes in the denominator here, I got to put 60 minutes in the denominator here, or in the numerator. And 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. Then I'm going to get the leaked amount. This is going to multiply this by my 8 hours. So now times my 8 hours. And I like fractions, so I'm going to put my fraction bar here, and I'll put this over 1. No unit associated with that, it's just the number 1. So what cancels now? Now I'm just analyzing the dimensions, right? So the hours are gone. We already saw the quarts go earlier. The minutes are gone. And I'm going to be left with gallons. That's going to tell me how many gallons leaked out. So the leaked amount of gallons is 0.4 times 60 times 8. Divided by 4. So the leaked is the 0.4 times 1 times 60 times 8, and in the bottom I just have a 4, and I'll be left with gallons. So this is 0.4 times 60 times 8 divided by 4 is 48 gallons. And that means what is left in this barrel is the full 180 minus the 48, which is 132 gallons. That one's tricky. We analyze the dimensions and then do the math. In this one right here, John walked 83 feet in 12.2 seconds. What is his speed in miles per hour? So I'm going to have to convert the feet to miles. And that's where this conversion factor is going to come in. Then I'm also going to have to convert the seconds to hours. Now be careful, there are 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. So there's 60 times 60, which is 3,600 seconds in an hour. So when we set this up, we start with what we're given, which is 83 feet in 12.2 seconds. So 83 feet in the numerator and 12.2 seconds is in the denominator. All right. I'm going to multiply this by something to change the feet into miles. So to get the feet to cancel, I'm going to have 5280 feet in the denominator of the fraction and 1 mile in the top. Then I'm going to multiply this by the conversion, the time conversion, right? So multiply this by what will make, I got to get the seconds to cancel here. So that means I need the 3,600 seconds in the numerator and 1 hour in the denominator. So when I do my canceling here, the hours are going to go. Oh, no, hours don't go. They left the hours. I'm sorry. The seconds are going to go. And the feet are going to go. And that's going to leave me with miles in the top and hours in the bottom, which is miles per hour. So this is equal to, well, what do I got here? I got in the top, I have 83 and 3,600. And I know I'm going to have miles. And then the bottom, I have 12.2 and 5280 and hours. So when we do this, I have to make sure I multiply the numbers in the top and divide by the numbers in the bottom. So when I type this into my calculator, I'm typing in 83 times 3,600 divided by 12.2 and also divided by 5280. Okay, I got to make sure I divide by everything in the bottom. So grab the calculator. 83 times 3600 divided by 12.2 and also divided by 5280. That is 4.6385. So this is equal to 4.6385. This keeps going, and this is miles per hour. When someone is walking, they're walking around 5 miles per hour. If you got something ridiculously large in the thousands, somebody can't walk that fast. So now let's follow the directions here. Round to the nearest tenth. That 6 is in the 10th spot. This 3 tells us to round down. So that means this is going to go to 4.6 miles per hour. Very common mistake has students multiplying by 5280 instead of dividing by 5280. So let's make sure we divide right here, not multiply. Now, what some students like to do is they like to they multiply 83 times 3600, they write that down, 12.2 times 5280, and write that down, and then divide. That's fine. Realize that when you first multiply both of these together and then divide by the result, that's the same as dividing by each one of them individually. Number 10, Sarah rode her bike at 13 miles per hour. So this is 13 miles in the top and 1 hour in the bottom. That is miles per hour. We just kind of saw that on the previous one. We're going to do something. We're looking for feet, and we're also going to have to multiply by 25 seconds. So that means we need to convert the miles to feet and the hours to seconds. So let's do the miles to feet first. 1 mile in the bottom here is equal to 5280 feet in the top. I'm also going to multiply by another fraction. And in this case here, I'm going to have 1 hour in the top. And I'm going to seconds here. So this is 3,600 seconds. I see some students say 60 seconds in an hour. No, there's 60 minutes in an hour, 60 seconds in a minute. So 3,600 seconds in an hour. And then I'm also going to multiply this by my 25 seconds. And we can see that when we put that over 1, that the unwanted units now are the seconds, the hours, and the miles. So that gives us in the top, we're going to have 13 times 5280 times 1. I don't need to put that in there. Times 25. And in the bottom, I am dividing by 3,600. And what will be left is going to be feet. Grab the calculator. 13 times 5280 times 25 divided by 3,600 is going to be 476.666667. So this is equal to 476.6666, and this is feet. What does the directions say? Round in there is tenth. First digit after the decimal is in the tenth spot. This 6 afterwards tells us to round up. So this is going to go to 476.7 feet. Be careful with the rounding. I mean, these are a lot of work. It would really stink to do everything correctly and then lose all the points simply because you didn't round correctly. And if you think about it, if you're riding a bike about 13 miles per hour, you ride for 25 seconds, you'll go a little less than 500 feet. All right, that's it. Make sure you review your graded work. Let me know if you have any questions.